Today, the Abe and Star Series sake lines command massive attention for their vibrant, low-alcohol profiles, highly sought after in modern bars and specialized retailers. This profile is a deliberate rebellion against the local baseline. Niigata Prefecture is historically famous for producing crisp, highly dry sake, making the youthful, fruit-forward acidity of the Abe brand a stark departure from local tradition. But strip away that modern buzz, flash back to the early 2010s, and the reality was grim. This 200-year-old brewery was suffocating under mounting debt. Facing rapidly shifting market demands, their annual production had collapsed to just 40 koku, roughly 7,200 liters for the entire year. The financial strain was so severe that the fifth-generation head of the family was actively preparing paperwork for the permanent closure of the business. Enter Yuta Abe. The sixth-generation son spent his career hundreds of miles away, working as a Tokyo corporate salesman until moving back home in 2013. His return came with a strict, non-negotiable ultimatum from his father, a 3-year grace period to turn the brewery around, or they would lock the vats forever. With only 36 months to rescue his family's legacy, Yuta abandoned the idea of incremental improvements. Survival required stripping the brewing process down to its studs and rebuilding it entirely through trial, error, and intense intellectual curiosity. The foundation of his new formula started at the microscopic level, utilizing exceptionally soft groundwater flowing directly from the slopes of Mount Yoneyama. This specific water profile provides a remarkably gentle mouthfeel, intentionally chosen to act as a clean canvas that complements the fresh seafood caught off the local coast. This chart compares the traditional Niigata dry profile against Yuta's radical new flavor design. By abandoning the dry standard, he engineered a liquid that deliberately spikes the rice umami and pushes a crisp structural acidity. The rigid rule underpinning this profile is All Genshu, meaning strictly no water is added after fermentation. Skipping this standard dilution step keeps the flavor molecules densely packed, securing a satisfying weight even at lower alcohol levels. To coax out that necessary body without overwhelming the palate, the team subjects the mash to a painstakingly slow, low-temperature fermentation process. When it's time to separate the liquid, they rely on fune shibori, a grueling manual lever-pressing method used for their entire inventory. Slowly pressing the mash in cloth bags minimizes physical stress on the sake, suppressing off flavors. They push the chemistry even further by reviving ancient brewing techniques, utilizing traditional natural yeast starters, and even distilling their own sake lees to add back into the vats, building highly complex layers of acidity. By selecting the most labor-intensive, scientifically demanding route for every single step of production, Yuta engineered a distinct product that could not easily be replicated. Once the immediate threat of the 3-year deadline was cleared, the brewery shifted its focus from internal chemistry to external agriculture. They launched an initiative called Team Kashiwazaki, a direct rejection of the industry standard practice of purchasing famous, prestigious rice from distant, renowned prefectures. Instead, they rely strictly on Niigata-grown varieties. This hyper-local strategy challenges local farmers to draw peak performance from their own paddies, creating an ecosystem where the growers are directly invested in the final product. Then, in 2017, they made their most unconventional business move, launching an open training system to mentor completely independent young brewers. The curriculum is exhaustive. Trainees receive intensive instruction covering the actual raw brewing, but also the vital business mechanics of shipping logistics and raw cost management. Graduates of the program are already taking those exact blueprints and opening their own successful operational breweries in places like Fukushima and Fukuoka. By choosing to share trade secrets rather than hoarding them, the brewery now serves as an active incubator for the next generation of Japanese brewers. The financial metrics validate the overhaul. Annual production scale has exploded from that desperate low of 40 koku up to roughly 250. With the core business stabilized, they expanded beyond alcohol entirely. In 2021, they launched Kura Cola, a craft cola utilizing a local medicinal herb called Yoneyama Toki, designed specifically to reach children and demographics that do not drink. In 2023, they moved to achieve total self-sufficiency in their raw materials, shifting aggressively into estate-grown organic rice farming. This created a closed-loop agricultural model. The brewery now takes its own sake lees, the physical byproduct left over from pressing the mash, and recycles it directly back into the estate fields as a natural fertilizer. This massive expansion out of the cellars and into the soil was formalized in 2024 with the establishment of a dedicated agricultural corporation. Managing organic farms and developing craft soft drinks, alongside their main labels, has expanded the company's identity into an enterprise focused on every facet of the fermentation process. The physical manifestation of this continuous growth is currently taking shape on the grounds, the construction of a massive, brand-new storehouse named Reiwa-gura. Preparing the new facility involves a delicate, high-stakes microbiological project. They are currently harvesting their proprietary house yeasts from the walls of the old cellars to transport and seed into the new environment. But the long-term vision extends far past the new property line. The company plans to transform vacant surrounding houses into lodging accommodations, alongside shared test kitchens where independent chefs can pilot new restaurant concepts. It is an active effort to build a gathering hub that continuously draws diverse groups of visitors, professionals, and residents to the region. By letting pure intellectual curiosity guide their science, Yuta Abe rescued a dying 200-year-old family operation and built a thriving, expanding ecosystem capable of breathing new economic life into an entire rural town.